Welcome back to the editing room. I am sitting here looking at the 2025 American Road Race of Champions video here, and well, I'm feeling compelled to give a little more background than I normally would. It was a great race. It was a wild race. It was a classic multi-class situation where traffic played a massive role in our race specifically. I don't think we played a big role in anybody else's race, but traffic played a huge role in our race. And as such, I'm feeling a little compelled to give a little more explanation because I do get a little bit spicy a couple of times in both race 1 and 2. I'm probably going to put this at the beginning of both races. Yeah, I get a little bit spicy. I have a lot of big feelings that my body has trouble controlling. And yeah, well, you'll see. I just felt that I probably should come on beforehand and just let you know that you're going to see some stuff in here that I'm not strictly proud of, but I do believe is probably just a part of racing. Racing is a sport of passion, and I tend to drive with a lot of passion. And, well, my hands there's a lot of passion in this video. There's a lot of passion in this video. So viewer beware, viewer discretion, however that wants to go, however that goes for you. Let's jump straight into the racing. It's pretty good. There's a lot in this one. Welcome back to Road Atlanta for race 2 of the 2025 American Road Race of Champions. This is race 2. If you haven't seen race 1, you really probably should go and watch that one. It'll be the video immediately before this one. We have some outstanding weather and we've got some great racing. The setup here is in race 1. I was able to posted a faster time than anybody else, so I'm actually rolling off on pole with Carter Lamberton to my right in a silver Mazda 2. And our friend with that orange and white Porsche right there is going to be a factor once again. In race 1, Carter was able to shoot up the inside there, and I wanted to make sure that did not happen again, so I protected inside. And I thought I was going to try to follow this orange and white Porsche up the hill. Not working. It's not working out. I've got other B-Spec guys bearing down my back, so we're just going to work our way past this fella just like this. Now I'm also anticipating on this start with that Audi in front of me. I'm anticipating them being slow, so I'm going to come out of it a little bit early in hopes to try to get on throttle quick and kind of pull alongside. Doesn't quite work out. They make just enough horsepower to get away from me, but it's okay because if you look in the right-hand mirror there, you'll see just how far back the race for me actually is. Chris Taylor is now in second place. He's the orange nose you see there. We got plenty of time and space to think and not worry too much about trying to scramble past any other cars here. So on my right here in just a moment, this orange and white Porsche that gave us a little bit of trouble yesterday is right back by us again. You remember him from the start. We got through him pretty quick and easy. Well, it's going to be less quick and easy this time around. So he gets through us there because he's got a bunch of horsepower. It's an ITS car. And he's early on the brakes, really late to throttle. He's offline. I think he's in the wrong gear actually because you can hear right there the RPMs are so low. But that little holdup right there allowed Chris Taylor to kind of pull up the inside there, and he's now on my right, and we're going through turn 12 side by side. I knew nobody was going to give that one up, so you do the best you can, but I've got enough horsepower to make him take the inside line. But what happens next is this orange and white Porsche has some kind of a problem. On the brakes hard and early, blocking my lane and pointing us by on the right side. He was throwing a point by. Oops, yep. That's how I feel about that little move that he made. Busted his butt to get past us and then immediately stops in the track and starts pointing us by. Not a great way to be, and that allowed Carter to kind of work his way past us as well. I could have driven further into the Porsche, but I didn't know what he was doing or where he was going to go, and I didn't want to create a bad situation. So we're now sitting in third place, and the whole move, look at how far away Chris Taylor is now. That's the lead. That's the top step of the podium right there, just driving away from us. And it's just the way that it is now. And so the goal now is to stay with Carter and try to catch up if we can. It's a tough spot to be in. It's a real tough spot to be in, watching your race drive away like that. So we're going to have another ITA car, another faster car move by on our left. And I'm going to move over and I'm going to pick up as much draft as I can off that guy. And that plus the horsepower that the Honda makes over the Mazda, I'm going to be able to just to clear Carter in its entirety right here. And so we're going to go down into the braking zone here. Now listen, it's going to look like I'm going to drive up there and hit this guy. It's mostly because that's exactly what I did. I really thought we were leaving. I really believed we were going to leave the corner now, and they just didn't get out of the corner as quickly as I expected. You heard me lift big time right before the impact because I went, oh no, he's still here. I entered the corner expecting him to be gone. That was my fault. I went and talked to the driver immediately after the race, and we were all good. But that's a kind of a funny moment, sort of a thing that happens every so often. You can see Carter challenging on my left in these mirrors. Again, watch these mirrors. There's a ton of action in these mirrors. I'm going to be referencing them a lot. He actually fell back in 3 there. He wasn't actually able to kind of seal it up at all. And here we are right back with this Integra. I'm going to stay off him this time, but what we're learning here is the Miata in front of him is a big problem. It's way overslowing in the corners and creating kind of a roadblock for us. That once again, in that mirror, you can see how far back Carter was. Well, he's right back here with us again. So right here, I had a run on this Integra, and as I got to here, I realized that the Miata left me space. I did not intend to pass 2 cars in that corner. That's not my intention at all. I was going to pull alongside the Integra and then hold my spot just so I didn't have to lift. And what ended up happening is the Miata checked up big time and left me a big hole. And so I reacted and I took both spots. It wasn't my intention, but it's how we went. And so when we left that corner, Carter pulled up to my right because he had a little bit of a run on me. And that's me waving on the Miata because, well, the Miata had horsepower. He was trying to get through us because he's got a bunch of horsepower. And I was going, well, if you want to get through, wave on. Come on, man. Push me, make a gap, and then you can get through. It didn't really work out that way, but either way, we are able to kind of get away from Carter a little bit here. And while Carter did get held up in that kerfuffle a little bit, he was able to work his way immediately through those 2 cars again, and he is behind me. He's way back, so we've got a gap to work with, but he was able to work his way through, and you know what? Spoiler alert, he will work his way back up to us. But really, all that's in my mind is I'm pretty comfortable with the drive so far. I'm comfortable with the gap that I've got to 3rd place, but what I'm really disappointed in is if you look ahead here, you can just see Chris turning into turn 6 there. He is long gone. He is light years ahead. In a class like B-Spec, even 10 car lengths, 12 car lengths can be almost impossible to make up unless someone makes a mistake. A distance like that, it's just never going to happen. It's never going to happen. So I'm thinking to myself, you know, keep your head down. There is a ton of racing to be done, but boy, I sure do hate where we are. It's massively disappointing for traffic to create this much of a gap in a podium battle. So if you're watching that right side mirror, you can see that Carter is right back with us again. Didn't take very long at all. I think I biffed 5 and then 7 back to back, and so that let him kind of get back up to us. But what you can also see is the other 2 cars that are in play here, that ITA DC2 Integra and that NC Miata. Keep your eye on that right side mirror because, well, there's going to be some stuff happening over the next couple laps that you're going to want to see in that mirror. When you hear drivers talk about mental game, it's times like this where that really comes into play. It's hard not to give up. I can't even really see Chris. Between the traffic and all the mess that I've been dealing with, Chris is just gone. That's first place, totally checked out. And in a situation like this, it is hard to stay focused and hit your marks and put your laps in because you're thinking, well, hell, second place is the best I can do here. What's the point? But this is when it matters. Keep your head down, stay focused, put your laps in. You never know what's going to happen, and that is the point. The race is never over until you see that checkered flag. And that's what's on my mind right now. So we put in a bunch of laps with basically no action at all. We've just been keeping our head down and going at it. If you've been watching the right side mirror, you can see that Carter has been ebbing and flowing. He's been closer, he's been further away, but mostly you can see the shadows of the other two cars. They're here now, and right here, I'm gonna move over to the left because that NC Miata that was causing us trouble earlier is trying to get past us again, and we can't have that in the middle of this podium battle. So he falls in behind me, and watch this mirror. You see, the Miata's right behind me, and right there, you can see Carter. It's one of those super last minute moves that I had trouble with in the first race, in the last video. He's throwing it down the inside, and it kind of just forces everyone to scatter out of the way. And so he throws it down the inside, and I think he gets by them, but he gets out horsepowered immediately on the front straightaway, and he tries the move again. Now watch this rear mirror. He tries that move again in turn one, and watch him right there. He's sideways, he snaps, and then snaps again, and you see him drive off track there. That unfortunately ended his race in the tire wall at the top of turn one, driver's left there. I watched him counter steer and carry the back end all the way out to the driver's left of the track outside of turn one there, and then it snapped the other direction, and he overcorrected again, and then it snapped hard and shot off track and immediately into the wall on the left. It's really unfortunate, and that does end his weekend. What that means for us is, my experience tells me there almost for sure is going to be a double yellow flag, and if you look out the left side, here you can see right there, that's the first double yellow flag that I saw that they got up. And so, as per the rules, again, like we talked about in the last video, the double yellow means that I have to slow down. I'm obligated to come off pace. I also need to catch the pace car. I have to catch the pace car. Now, in this particular race, the pace car had some trouble getting launched, and so they didn't get it out for a couple laps. But most of all that's important is that I get to Chris. That's really all that matters. I get back to Chris Taylor up front in that orange Mazda 2 so that I can be ready for the restart. This is the break that we've been looking for. This is what I mean when you say you never know what's going to happen. Keep your head down, put your laps in, stay in that rhythm, because we've got our break. We're going to be able to get back to our race, and you can see Chris is already in sight right there, and we're going to be sitting in a really good spot. So we'll skip the double yellow. We do have to drive around this rollback that they maneuvered in. It's interesting. This is a common thing that happens when they're going to clean up, but it's been a long time since I've had to drive around EV. Now, if you look out the left side, right there, you can kind of just barely see. That's where the incident happened, and well, it gave us a double yellow, and that's what we're going to be dealing with now. So let's skip through the double yellow, and we'll get right back to the green flag racing. Okay, so we are back. We've done a bunch of laps. They got the incident cleaned up. Now, I know the pace car lights are out, and I know we're going to get a green. I've got a communicator looking for the green right now, and right about now, I can hear the green flag call over the radio, but none of us can see it. And I could have, with complete legality, just driven straight past Chris right there, because I knew the green flag had dropped, but nobody else could see it, and I just couldn't do it. I just could not bring myself to do it. It's such an unfair advantage. I couldn't do it. But it's okay, because we were able to use our horsepower to our advantage right here and take the lead position back again. And well, boy, I can't tell you, there is a lot of stuff that happens for the rest of this race, so buckle up, because we're going to be talking a lot. We immediately approach this ITB car here. It stays out of the way, heads up driving. The guy did a fantastic job. The RX-7 really had nowhere to go. It's just a bummer of timing again. But my plan is to brake early, get into throttle immediately, and try to pull up alongside him, and it works perfectly. It works beautifully. Chris had a run on me in 5 because I broke so early, but he wasn't able to take advantage because the RX-7 was just straight up in his way. And so we can keep our lead, and we live to fight for another couple corners here. So because of the way the pace car got put out and where they ended up, the pack is jumbled up quite a bit. They weren't able to grab the true leader, and so they kind of split the group a little bit. And so we're going to be running through some cars that we normally would not be anywhere near or running through in this fashion, and so things get really, really interesting for the pretty much for the rest of the race. That's me giving Chris a big old thumbs up. Push, push, push. Again, like we talked about in the last video, it's hard to say what we're going to do because right now, this is a 2-car race. There's no other B-Spec cars that are really in contention with us, and so this is a 2-car race. Oof, mid-corner break is brutal. It's brutal. It's this ITA Neon. Did a fairly good job of staying out of the way, so it's all fine. But anyway, as I was saying, it's hard to say, are we going to work together? We have no reason to work together, but we also don't have a lot of, we could just battle it out, and he chose to push. And so, thumbs up, push, 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 let's go. And so at this point, this Miata is a pretty big threat to me. You can see we're really keeping up with him in the corners, but we're not able to do anything about it because he's got so much horsepower to drive away. It's a pretty big threat. It's a big problem. And, well, it's part of the math. It's part of the math of what are we going to do? How are we going to handle this? It ends up working out for this lap to be mostly okay because by the time we get to his rear bumper and we would have to lift or try to move to one side or the other, horsepower takes over and he's able to drive away. So, that's mostly fine. But like I said, we're working our way through cars that we wouldn't normally, and so we are actually approaching a couple of B-Spec cars that are towards the back of the field, and it creates an interesting situation. It is a really bizarre feeling for me to be approaching B-Spec cars in this manner, to be able to drive by. We give him a little wave because he's done a good job of kind of removing himself from our race. He wasn't too impactful, so he did a good job. So I gave him a little wave. I also just happen to know that he's a newer driver, so it's good to see some of these newer drivers out there. But it's a bizarre feeling to approach B-Spec cars in this way, because usually we just don't see each other. We don't lap. Lapping B-Spec cars is not really a thing that happens for us, and so it's kind of a strange feeling working our way through the pack. Chris with another push on us there. He's decided that we're just going to push away from any mess that we could be involved in. And honestly, that makes the racing a little bit easier. So I welcome that, especially with all the traffic that we're going to have to work through. Well, right now, actually, right this very second, we've got Dan Sheehy on the left. Look at this picture. What is the driver who's approaching us supposed to do? It's such a funny coincidence. So we're going to work our way past Dan Sheehy right here first in this Mini right here, and then Richard Osborne in the Nissan in front of him. It's such a funny, because I don't want to mess up their race. I don't want to mess their whole thing up, but I'm also fighting for first place. And well, I'm glad that Chris was deciding that he was just going to push instead of challenge, because it really let us kind of work our way through the traffic first and then battle it out when we're alone, as opposed to trying to work multiple variables at once with battling and working our way through traffic. But we're through Sheehy there pretty quickly, and we'll get through Richard here in just a second. Both of them are heads-up experienced drivers, so they know that we're coming, and they are doing their best to kind of stay out of the way a little bit. Did a great job, and well, honestly, this Miata is still in front of us, and I'm still thinking about him. He's still in my mind. I'm trying to decide, what are we going to do? What's going to happen? How is it going to work? And you can see Richard pick up the draft in a big way right there. But he was giving us the space that we needed and didn't challenge, kind of stayed back, and Chris was able to get through him right there in 10A, as you can see. But Chris is still with us. We're not able to ditch him. My favorite thing is to put cars between me and the competition, but it's not working because he's moving along with us and keeping the race nice and tight. So we're coming down to not a ton of laps left. We are nearing the end of the race. We're not quite there yet. But if you look in this right side mirror again, that silver Integra is back, and he makes a move on Chris in turn 1. And I thought he was going to make a move on me too, but he bailed on it. And like I said in race 1, I really like, for if you are in a faster class and you show your nose like that, you need to commit. You have to commit to the pass and get it done. At least start it, because otherwise you just slow everyone down. And so I left him a lane that wasn't utilized, and it slowed me down when I could have driven further away from the situation. But it's okay, because he now sits in between myself and Chris and gives us that precious gap where we can kind of breathe, we can kind of think, make some plans, and get ready to throw all those plans into garbage because something else changes. And so this Integra is on my left here. I leave him a little bit on entry there, but not a ton. We go through turn 7 together here, and he's got horsepower on us. He's got a ton of horsepower. It's a big motor. It's a 1.8 motor. It's making some pretty good horsepower. So there he goes by us in the straightaway. And I'm going to move over and try to grab as much of that draft as I can and hope that Chris is not able to pick it up. Of course, Chris is able to pick it up, but we'll watch that gap close here in just a second. Everything is short-lived. So we come down into turn 10, and the Integra way blew the corner. He's well offline, and this made me really, really nervous. I wasn't sure how he was going to go or what was going to happen. Luckily, horsepower takes over and he drives away, and it isn't a problem. But here's the thing, y'all. We're coming under the white flag right here. We have 1 lap to go, and I'm looking at this car in front of me I'm really concerned about his speed, where he's going to be making that speed, and how it's going to impact us, because we have one lap left. Whatever happens right now is going to be the end. And so I got this car in front of me. I've got Chris Taylor right on my butt behind me, and the race is on, let me tell you. Oof, a lot of factors at play here. I am thinking as fast as I can to try to make some plans and figure out what are we going to do. And as it turns out, one of the things that we do is completely biff turn 5 here. Oh, brutal over the curve there. Had to lift because I wasn't sure. I thought the car was going to drive all the way out to the wall. What a mess. And so that lets Chris get a hell of a run on us right here in the left mirror. You see him there? I protected the inside. He takes the outside lane, but just doesn't have the speed, just barely doesn't. But as we go through turn 7 here, I also kind of biffed 7 a little bit. It's way too slow in the corner there. And so that lets him stay right on our tail. Look how close he is. Look how close he is. Right into 4th. I 2 turns nearly back to back, and this is the gap. This is the gap we're working with. It's the last time down the back straightaway. And so I have to decide, protect the left, protect to the right. I'm going to park the car right in the middle of the track and just kind of watch Chris and see where he goes. Now, I think that he probably is going to try to outbrake me here because he might be able to, but he's not quite able to get it done. I went way deep on the brakes. As a result, had a bit of a rough run through turn 10 there, but it kept him behind me just enough that he just couldn't pull alongside me. See me protecting the right there because that was a move that he liked to do. He went to the left, and we cross under the checkered flag. It was quite a race. It was quite a race. Pulls up next to me, gives me a big thumbs up and a wave. Man, what a race that was, especially with that last lap. I tell you what, when you make mistakes, it really lets people get a jump on you. Who'd have thought? What a beautiful weekend of racing. It was outstanding. And what this means is I get another ARRC checkered flag and another ARRC gold medal. That makes two-time ARRC champion. I'm so stoked with the drive. We had a great turnout. The weather was fantastic. Even though traffic played a massive, massive role in both races, the racing was great. The Spec driving was mostly clean. I couldn't be happier. I'm really thrilled with how the whole thing went. The car handled great, and we picked up a little bit of damage in race 1, but for the most part, rolled the car on the trailer with no repairs to be made in the off season. We're going to get that net down because we got to get more excited. Got to get that arm pumping out the window. What a great race. Thanks so much for watching. There's a couple of videos coming on, some more race-related content. I've been working on one video for a long time, and at some point we will get back on the RX-7 and you will see that thing drive. So let me know what you thought about some of this driving. Let me know what you thought about some of these moves and some of the traffic that we had to work our way through. Thanks so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next one.